everyone, and happy Sunday, and welcome to this Sunday edition of Politics with Riley King. Let's begin this Sunday edition of Politics with Riley King right now. And this week on Politics with Riley King, we got a lot of stuff we're going to talk about, so let's get started. First up, Kuster describes battle with PTSD in wake of attack on Capitol. Congresswoman says she had nightmares in weeks following attack. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
For the easy and the complex, the small stuff and the big, we're here with the affordable local loans, easy to manage accounts, and financial advice to help you blaze a trail, figure stuff out, and make your money go farther. We're Granite State Credit Union. Live bold.
Well, that's right, Mike. She says it took about 5 weeks to recover from PTSD with the support of family, friends, and professional treatment. In an interview that will air this Sunday on Close Up, Congresswoman Annie Kuster said she thought she was going to die during the January 6th attack on the Capitol. She described the pounding on the door of the chamber, but she says it wasn't until she saw images like this showing the mob storming the Capitol that it really hit home.
But it wasn't until I watched all the video, we were in the chamber that day, so I didn't actually see the crowd and the mob and the surging toward us and the intent to harm members of Congress. And I think that's when the trauma started to build up. So we were encouraged to seek help. I was not familiar with the symptoms of post-traumatic stress. I've had a lot of nightmares. I've had a lot of fear.
Kuster says spending time in New Hampshire's great outdoors also helped with her recovery. You can watch that full interview Sunday morning on Close Up right here on WMUR. Reporting live, Monica Hernandez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Assad running in 1st District as pro-gun and pro-Trump constitutional conservative. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
The past year has tested the toughness of every last one of us. Med retractors have been there for our tough customers.
Julian Aciard describes himself as a solutionary Republican candidate for Congress in New Hampshire's 1st District. He's a pro-life, pro-gun, and pro-Trump constitutional conservative seeking to break the grip of partisanship on Washington.
The only way we're actually going to fix anything is if average, everyday people run for office and propose real solutions and drop the political thuggery of my team versus your team.
The Marine Corps veteran says he wants to deliver his conservative message with kindness. His policies still speak directly to the new Republican base, including a Trump-style nationalist approach to foreign policy and immigration.
Because I believe that as a U.S. politician, your job is to focus on U.S. citizens.
The candidate is following in the footsteps of other diverse Granite State Republicans who've run for Congress in recent years. Aciard is an outspoken opponent of critical race theory. Unlike other GOP candidates, he says systemic racism is real, but he contends Democrats are responsible for it.
Systemic racism was actually built. It was a system of racist policies built by Woodrow Wilson, FDR, and every single Democrat since.
Aciard knows he'll be the underdog if the 2020 Republican nominee in the 1st District, Matt Mowers, decides to run again, but he says he won't be outworked on the campaign trail.
I am a New Hampshire guy, and I want to represent New Hampshire because I still have to live here when it's all over.
For now, Aciard is focusing on the conservative grassroots, but he says he's run into a lot of voters who seem eager to shake things up as the country tries to emerge from the shadow of COVID-19.
There's a lot of things that politicians have screwed up throughout this pandemic, and not using basic common sense was one of them.
Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Who will control New Hampshire elections? House committee votes along party line to counter for the People Vote bill. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
The past year has tested the toughness of every last one of us. Mahindra tractors have been there.
New Hampshire is viewed as a beacon of the democratic process, but a fight over election reform in Washington is prompting lawmakers in Concord to take action that could lead to big changes in how the state votes.
This amendment was prepared at my request in order to address what I consider to be a direct assault on the sovereignty of New Hampshire.
State Rep. Barbara Griffin advanced an amendment Wednesday attempting to give the Granite State an escape hatch out of the For the People Act, a sweeping voting rights, campaign finance reform, and anti-corruption bill in Washington. The legislation contains several elements with popular support, but the New Hampshire Secretary of State's office says it's a massive federal overreach, and they are in full support of state efforts to subvert it.
I think this amendment fires a shot across the bow to Congress about the wisdom of passing such legislation that would be a federal takeover of our election.
Under questioning from longtime State Rep. David Cody, the Deputy Secretary of State admitted this could end up giving New Hampshire two different election systems.
Mr. Deputy, do you agree that the passage of this amendment would require separating the federal and state elections for ballot purposes?
That would be one option.
The other option would be an election day with separate ballots and checklists for state and federal races. A doubled workload, some say, sounds like a town clerk's nightmare.
Which is clearly an unworkable situation for local election officials.
But with strong Republican support, this change could be heading straight for the desk of Governor Chris Sununu. Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this Sunday edition of Politics with Riley King. Thank you for joining us for this Sunday edition of Politics with Riley King. Have a great rest of your Sunday. See you back here next Sunday for another edition of Politics with Riley King. Goodbye, everyone.